2017 was a great year for video games. We got a lot of really fun and really good games, but we got just as many great looking games as well. So let's take a look back at the 10 games with the best graphics in 2017. And before any of you get mad or upset, just keep in mind we're talking about straight, raw graphics. While games like Night in the Woods and Breath of the Wild have amazing art styles and look beautiful in their own way, here we're talking straight up raw graphical power. Starting off at number 10, we have Assassin's Creed Origins, which in my opinion is one of the must-play games if you want to check out what the Xbox One X is actually capable of. Ubisoft did an amazing job creating a lush, beautiful Egypt in Origins, and the map here is huge, which makes how every bit of it looking this great makes it that much more impressive. Everything is super bright and colorful, and if you have HDR on, it looks that much better. I mean, as soon as it started to get dark, I would wait so it was daytime again, because that's when the game looks its best. The draw distance here as well is killer, riding through the desert and seeing a village out in the distance, or when you use the bird's eye view to see pretty much the entire map, which was rendered pretty much instantly, is super impressive. Ubisoft really put out an amazing game with an amazing world, and they should be proud of what they've done with the Assassin's Creed series. And moving on to number 9, we have Destiny 2, but specifically the PC version of Destiny 2. While Destiny 2 didn't look bad on console, the difference on PC is night and day. Bungie stated that this isn't a port and that the PC version was actually built from scratch with PC in mind. What's so great about Destiny 2 on PC is that whether you're rocking a beast of a rig or a budget build, it looks really good either way. With the graphic options and the uncapped frame rate, there are so many ways to get this game to work the exact way you want it to work. Everything just looks so much better. Nessus looks 10 times prettier on PC than on console, and honestly, ever since picking up on PC, I've had a very hard time going back to the console version. Moving on to number 8, we have Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. This game is a nightmare, but it's a beautiful damn nightmare. The world of Hellblade is dark, grim, gross, but at the same time, it's so beautiful. And Senua herself also looks amazing. The mocap work that Ninja Theory did for this was great. Melina Juergens, and I'm sorry if I just butchered your name, she absolutely killed it as Senua, and it was her first role too, which is unreal. With how great Senua looks and how pretty these grim environments look, there's no way this game wasn't gonna make it on our list. Next up at number 7, we have Ghost Recon Wildlands. This is similar to Destiny 2, where it's the PC port in particular that really stands out. On console, the game looks fine, and the Pro and 1X enhancements make it look that much better. But on PC, this game is surprisingly demanding and everything really stands out. The open world of Bolivia is huge, a bit empty, and not that exciting, but still huge, and because of how big it is, it takes a lot to run it. Using a GTX 1070 on very high presets, you can run it at 60 frames per second with little to no hiccups, and you can always fine-tune the graphics to get it to run better, and the game gives you a lot of options to help you fine-tune. It's how big the world is that makes it pretty impressive. There are also so many different environment types in Wildlands as well, and each one looks great and stands out from the other. While it isn't perfectly optimized for PC, it's still impressive how much better this looks on PC than on console, even if my graphics card is screaming at me half the time when I'm playing it. Coming in at number 6, we have Call of Duty World War II, and as much shit as Call of Duty gets, these games always look super good. While its art style isn't anything out of the ordinary, the games just always look great. The character models here specifically, they're phenomenal. Each character really stands out. Their facial expressions all look different than the other characters. The devs really fine-tune each character's face here. Zussman in particular, I think he looks phenomenal. The game manages to not look boring throughout the campaign too, which is good. Even with its dark and dreary color palette, it doesn't succumb to the dullness that a lot of shooters with a similar color palette usually falls victim to. Like I said before, the Call of Duty games look great every year, so if you've played one in the last few years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They don't do anything special graphics-wise, but they just look really good. Next up, at number 5, we have Resident Evil 7. This game did a great job at really making you feel like you were running around a spooky, gross house filled with monsters and psychopaths. This is the first Resident Evil game to really feel like a Resident Evil game in quite some time, and I think what really helped it achieve that is the overall look and vibe of the game. The Baker house and the surrounding property looks really good. The grossness of it just really makes everything pop. Seeing the grossness and the moldiness take over everything, and the way the little light in the game shined off of it and makes everything look wet and disgusting, it just, I loved it. it looks so good. The game made really smart use of the little lighting that it had. I still remember the part where you're walking out on the second floor porch that overlooks the RV, and the way the moonlight was shining through the lattice and the way it hit the wall right next to you. It just had this really spooky vibe, and anytime I think about this game, I always think about that one part. And if we're talking about how good this game looked, we have to talk about how everyone just has a perfect set of teeth somehow. This is probably the best teeth graphics I've seen in any game. Moving on to number 4, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. Okay, so for a second, we just need to put all the drama and all the bullshit that comes with Battlefront 2 aside, and just use that quick second to appreciate how beautiful the game is. DICE, Criterion, and Motive all did a great job making a game that looked like something I'd expect to see from a Star Wars title. There's such a sense of realism to it, like it feels like you're almost watching a movie. Getting close up to a stormtrooper and seeing the sun shine off of their armor, and also being able to see the exact dimensions of their armor is just super impressive. And you get hit with the beauty this game has to offer almost instantly. At the very beginning of the game when you're down on Endor, the trees and vegetation are stunning. And so is the fire that you see coming from the wrecked ships and the walkers. All the bullshit aside, there's no denying how good this game looks. Coming in at number 3, we have Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. First off, we all know this was made by Naughty Dog, which means it's obviously beautiful. I think they have something figured out over there about the PS4 that other devs must not know, because they pushed that box to the limit with their games. Everything that was so great about Uncharted 4 applies to The Lost Legacy. The way the light shines through every single little crevice, the way Nadine and Chloe get dirty when they're running through dirt and mud, and it also runs great. I never encountered any slowdown or any crazy chug. It just always ran so smooth. Part of the fun of playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, and honestly any Uncharted, is just looking at it. Like just stopping to take a minute to appreciate the environment around you. Next up, at number 2, we have Forza Motorsport 7. Racing games always look good, and Forza 7 is pretty much on the cutting edge right now. Whether you're playing on PC or a base Xbox One, or especially an Xbox One X, this game looks damn incredible, especially when it's native 4K and 60 frames per second. Crisp is the first word that comes to mind, but what's especially cool is the dynamic weather system. In some maps, clouds will roll in, a torrential downpour might occur, and then the sun could poke its head back out, casting gold reflections on everything from your car to all the puddles on the road. It's a sight to behold, and the fact that it's all going on in real time is awesome. And finally, at number 1, we have Horizon Zero Dawn. Even if you haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, you can't deny how pretty the game looks. This is the game to play on PS4 Pro, and honestly, I'd go as far as saying that this is one of the games you absolutely need to check out if you want to see what 4K and HDR gaming on console is really capable of. Guerrilla Games built an amazing, vast open world that's just as beautiful as it is big. The world is filled with lush green vegetation that you can see blowing in the wind, and the glow from the machines against the environment from sunset through to the next morning looks so damn good. And now we have the Frozen Wilds, which has a whole new environment, a beautiful snowy tundra that's just waiting to be explored. Good job, Guerrilla, you guys really killed it on this one. And those are the 10 games with the best graphics in 2017, but we want to hear from you, so meet us down in the comments below and let us know what you think. As I'm sure you already know, hitting the like button really helps us out, and if you're new here for some reason, we put out videos like this every single day, and the best way to get them is by subscribing to the channel. As always, thank you for watching, we really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.